A ladder under a nursery window in the New Jersey dark. A handwritten note that turns a family home into front-page history. America's most famous pilot looks at an empty crib, and a nation holds its breath. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, a plank of wood and a string of serial numbers will drive a case into the spotlight and change federal law across the United States. March 1st, 1932, Hopewell, New Jersey. The home of Charles and Anne Morrow Lindbergh sits quiet on a windy night. Upstairs, their 20-month-old son sleeps in the nursery. Down below, a window latch will matter more than anyone imagines. A nurse named Betty Gow checks the crib and feels cold air drift in. The baby is gone, the blanket light, the room too quiet. Outside, a homemade ladder leans under the window frame. On the sill, traces that say someone came and left fast. A ransom note is found, written in a careful but unusual hand. Demands follow in a series of letters with symbols and misspellings. The writer insists on cash and later specific bills in gold certificates. The tone is controlled, calm, deliberate, almost rehearsed. The Lindberghs turn to an intermediary, Dr. John Jaffsey Condon. He trades letters with the kidnapper under coded marks and ads. A meeting is arranged in a Bronx cemetery at night. Money is exchanged, instructions are given, hope rises, and then thins again. Weeks pass with searches through brush, creeks, and quiet farm roads. Investigators work methodically and expand the perimeter. Then comes the hardest news, reported with respect here and without detail. The child is found deceased near the Lindbergh property. Grief does not stop the investigation, it sharpens it. Evidence is boxed, logged, and sent to specialists who study tiny things closely. Two clues stand tallest in a sea of paper: a ladder and the money. Wood and ink will carry most of the weight. The ladder is handmade from different woods, cut with imperfect tools. A federal wood expert, Arthur Koehler, studies grain, nails, and saw marks. He maps growth rings like fingerprints and traces boards back to a specific mill. Then he finds something chilling. A board in the ladder matches a plank missing from a suspect's attic. The ransom money enters the case like a long fuse, slow, steady, and bright. Serial numbers on gold certificates are recorded and circulated to banks and shops. Months later, a gas station attendant in New York notices a suspicious bill. He writes down a license plate before the driver pulls away. Police follow the plate to a Bronx apartment. Inside lives a quiet carpenter, Bruno Richard Hauptmann. In his garage, investigators find a hidden stash, thousands in ransom bills, enough to move suspicion from rumor to charge. Handwriting specialists compare the ransom notes with samples from Hauptmann. Loops, slants, and spellings align in ways experts rarely see. Dr. Condon points to Hauptmann as the man he met in the cemetery. The voice, the posture, the cadence of certain words, familiar under oath. Then comes the wood, evidence that feels like a bridge you can touch. Koehler's analysis shows the ladder's rail matches wood from Hauptmann's attic joist. The cut lines and nail holes line up like a puzzle snapped into place. It's not just similar, it appears to be the same board, reshaped for the ladder. The defense counters with a story of a friend named Isidore Fish. Hauptmann says the money came from Fish's possessions after he died. He denies the ransom exchange and any role in the kidnapping. He cannot explain the attic board to the court's satisfaction. January 1935, Flemington, New Jersey. The trial of the century begins. Crowds, cameras, and headlines swell around a small courthouse. Inside, the proceedings are orderly and stark. Exhibits include ladder sections, cash bundles, and writing samples aligned on felt boards. Witnesses describe what they saw and what they measured. The jury hears from carpenters, bankers, linguists, and neighbors. The state argues a tight chain from nursery window to ransom note to garage cash. The defense leans on doubt, coincidence, and the fish claim. Verdict, guilty. Sentence, death. Appeals follow, arguments multiply, and the public debate grows louder. April 1936, the sentence is carried out. The case closes in law, but not in conversation. History never stops at a verdict. Questions remain. Some scholars challenge the handwriting methods and the trial's circus atmosphere. Others point to the attic board and the cash as anchors too heavy to ignore. The debate becomes part of the case's legacy. What changed for America is easier to list. The Federal Kidnapping Act, Lindbergh Law, makes kidnapping across state lines a federal crime. The FBI's laboratory and coordination role expand. Serial number tracking and ransom protocols become standard practice nationwide. The media learns hard lessons about pre-trial publicity. Courts refine rules to balance transparency and fairness. Investigators tighten evidence handling, what today we call chain of custody. Tiny procedures born in this case now live in thousands of checklists. Why this story still grips the country is simple. It combined the most public of figures with the most private of fears, a child's room at night. It asked science to speak clearly in a crowded room. And it turned ordinary materials, paper, wood, and ink, into witnesses that don't forget. If you dig deeper, start with trial transcripts, FBI summaries, and Arthur Koehler's reports. Keep speculation separate from the record. We avoid graphic detail here, and we keep the focus on people and process. Respect is not a footnote, it's the center of the work. In the end, the Lindbergh case is about how evidence can carry a story across years, how a ladder becomes a map and a dollar becomes a breadcrumb, and how a courtroom, for all its noise, hinges on quiet facts arranged in order. If careful, fact-first storytelling is your thing, you're in the right place. Subscribe and queue up the next episode, another case where a small clue changed the rules for the rest of us.